an event. We're partying. Partying, it's Friday. Do, 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 do. Hey, happy Friday. And good morning. It's about 8:07. This is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, which means we're 3 hours later than we're supposed to be. My phone just went off because when you ring the little bell, you get notifications when we go live or post stuff up on YouTube. So, why do I got this? It's a 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, and we like to talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical and tactical way with a little goofiness sometimes and have a little fun and ways to bring value to your customer. And what am I going to say? Get home to your family and friends. Even though this holiday season, clamping down on everything here in the States. But don't want you working 68 hours a week. We want you to work in a lean fashion, as they say in the new Scrum Guide. And get home to your family and friends and bring value to your customer without spending millions and millions of dollars and waste. That's why we do it, right? I think you can get both worlds. You can deliver value to your customer without working crazy hours to get there. So what are we going to talk about today? One, we are doing Fortune Cookie Friday. Yay! And two, I'm going to talk about some things in the new Scrum Guide. Like I said, this is going to be material for the rest of the year, but I'm not going to do it every day because I think that would be boring. So we're just going to do a little bit. We are going to do a little bit because it was yesterday. So we got to talk about it, right? So I'm going to talk about the Scrum definition, things I like, don't like. And then events. And that's why I had the little froggy thing. Hey, it's an event. And we're going to talk about that. I disagree. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't like what they did with the term event. So let's go. So I got my little notepad here. So I write some down just to give me some thoughts that I see. And then we'll go from there. So in Scrum definition, I think there's something missing. They talk about this product owner. And I think that the Scrum definition, it's missing who composes the work or work description. I like that. I don't like the idea it creates the work. I think that's a bad term, but I would say work description, right? It says in there that the product owner orders the work. Okay, but this is a chicken or egg thing. Somebody has to create the work description to be ordered. Who does that, right? Later on, they talk about the product owner does that activity, but they don't put that up in the definition of Scrum, where they talk about the product owner orders the work. But I think also the work gets ordered based on team input, so helps lead and makes the final decision on the work order. But I think it's a group team, Scrum team activity for the order. Once it gets into the sprint, they order the work outside the sprint and what needs to be done, and they put priorities on it. But anyway, I think the definition, this is where I think it went wrong. They need to say that the product owner composes the work and orders the work, or composes the work description. I like that better. Composes the work description, because they don't actually do a lot of the development work or testing or any of that kind of thing, and then they help order those work descriptions, those items, because they don't talk about product backlog items until later. So I think they didn't want to put that up front. I don't even know if they call it a PBI, but they could have said it that, right? The other one, one of the things I think the definition is missing. I think Scrum is designed to create avenues for a team of people to engage together. I believe that if you look at how Scrum was put together, it is a series of events to allow teams of people to come together to develop a product or answer a complex solution. They love using the word complex problem or complex problem in this version of the Scrum Guide. And that's another thing I think they overkill it. It's like you can't just Scrum is not only for a complex problem, because now they're going to set up a whole new set of issues. We're saying, well, it's not a complex problem that we have, so we shouldn't be using Scrum. I'll be honest with you, anytime you get two people working together, it's complex. So by definition, anytime you have two people working together, like a relationship, it's complex. It's not simple. Anybody thinks a relationship between two people is simple are nuts. And they've never been in a relationship before, and they have fictitious things in their mind because they have no idea. So I personally think anytime two people work together or more than one person works together, it's complex. How you work together. Now you might have a complex problem, but anytime those two people work together, it's going to be complex, period. It just happens. So I really think they should have added something about, my personal opinion, I'm not part of the process. Yeah, this is backseat driving, bench quarterbacking, whatever you want to, second string kind of thing. But I do think Scrum is designed to create avenues for a team of people to engage together. And we'll talk about that. And that's what I think really Scrum does as a whole. If you really look at what it's built to do, that's what it's built to do. It ain't to solve a problem. It's to bring people together to solve a problem. Okay. So that's one of the two things in the definition. One, I think they left out the fact that product owner also creates the work descriptions and orders the work. I think that's very important, because the question is, I always get every time, who writes the work? Who creates the user story? Who creates that work description? Typically it is the product owner, but they said later, thank God, and we'll talk about that later on roles. We'll do roles on another thing, but they do make an update on that the product can share those responsibilities or have people help them do that role, which is something I've been saying from day one, because I've been doing this too long and I see how much work it really entails to do between getting customer input and making that customer input look so that the development team can figure out how to build it. It's a lot of work. Don't underestimate it. So those are my two things right now for the definition. There's probably millions of other ones, but those are the two key things that I saw. I do like this. There's a line about inspection, and I don't think it was in the 2017 version, but I do like it in this one. The inspection provokes change. I think that is a revolutionary thought. How many times you go to a retrospective, right, and they go, oh, we really did really good. We worked well together. Everything's so wonderful, right? We're the best team. There's no way of improvement. Oh, we're just so good, right? So how many times you go to retrospective like that? We don't want to talk about the bad things because that's just bad. That promotes conflict. And we don't like conflict here at our company. We're on our team, so we don't do any conflict. No conflict. We are happy people. Okay, so what I like, the idea is provoking change. So it's not about just improvement, but it's about provoking change. So you get together in these events, in this inspection process, to provoke change. Do we need to change? Should we change? Is there something we could change to make this better? And maybe that is the question we should be asking in retrospectives. And I haven't got down to we'll move on from there, but that's one thing I really love, the provoking of change. That is a beautiful statement that probably do a whole show on that as far as related to retrospectives and how to revolutionize your retrospective for that particular question. And maybe we do it everywhere, not just the retrospective, but every event. Okay. A trick question has now been inputted into the Scrum Guide, so that if anybody's taking those tests and they're going to get a question, guess what? There are now 5 events in Scrum. 5. Like, Craig, there's not 5 events. There's the sprint planning event. There's a daily Scrum. There's a sprint review and a sprint retrospective. That's only 4. No, they are calling this sprint the 5th event. So now, if you were to take that scrum.org test for a PSM, guess what? You better watch out for the trick question. There are 5 events in Scrum now, because instead of calling a sprint a time box or a container, they still call it a container, but they also call it an event. I think they went too far. I think it promotes confusion, because do I call my vacation an event? Is my vacation an event for a whole week? I haven't had a vacation for a week in a while, but if I was going for a week vacation, is that an event? No, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know anybody calls vacation an event. It's an event. Well, that means it's like ends, and it's not like, I don't know. I just don't think it. I don't think the sprint is an event. However, okay, so if you're taking your test, there are now 5 events and 4 formal events. Four. So the same events, they still call them the formal events. They call the sprint planning, daily scrum, the sprint review, and the sprint retrospective are the 4 formal events. But the 5th one is the actual sprint itself. They are now calling that event. So that is a trick question that's going to be on your tests. So keep an eye on whether they call it formal event or how many events are in Scrum. So I don't like what they did. That I don't like. So I just want to share that to you and give you a heads up. So I don't know when they're going to change all those tests that they have in for the PSM and all those people out, that they take in Scrum.org. But again, they changed it, and that's probably going to be a question on the test, especially for the PSM1 test. Okay, so that's what I have for today, and that's why I had this. It's like, we have an event. We need our drinks. We need our drink. Right? Frog. Anyway, I don't see a sprint as an event. I like the time box. I like to keep it as a container. I don't know why they had to make it a freaking event. I think that's stupid. Anyway, it doesn't pass the common sense test. Someone said that common sense is a sprint an event. In whose world? I don't know. I think people are going to get tired of that. They're not going to use it. So they may say it on a test and then never, ever say it again. There's only 4 formal events. I guess I have to formally say there's 4 formal events in Scrum. 4 formal events. There's 5 events, but there's 4 formal events. So I don't mess everybody up. Greg Mester said there's only 4 events. No, I said 4 formal events. 4 formal events. If you say that a lot of times, what's going to happen? I don't know. Anyway, it's Fortune Cookie Friday. Yay! So what do we do on Fortune Cookie Friday? We take a fortune cookie from a local restaurant. I do have a box from a local grocery store, which I don't know if I'll ever be able to go to again, but a local restaurant, support my local businesses. And they gave us a bunch of fortune cookies because we bought a lot of food and kids like their leftovers. And in this fortune cookie, in the wrapping, from Agile accountants who want to know about the 5 events on a test, right? Because there's 5, 4 formal, 5 events, and no one in the definition, anyway. So here, this is it. So inside this cookie is something about Agile. We have to take what's in this cookie, whatever saying is here, and apply it to Agile and Scrum or the show or anything we talk about. So inside this cookie barrier packed in by Agile accountants, we open up the fortune. Because I don't know what's on these things. Some people are like, he already knows what they are, and he makes it up as he already knows the answer. There's no teleprompters. This is live. Oh, here we go. This is good. Okay. Confidence isn't something that you get. It's something that you are. But I disagree with that. This I disagree with. Confidence isn't something that you get. It's something that you are. You can learn confidence by doing. And the more you do, you have more confidence in your thing. So this is one time that I disagree with the fortune cookie. but it's a great thing to come on to. I disagree with that. And why do I disagree with that? Let's talk about from an Agile Scrum perspective. And it's already a 15-minute mark. So we're going to do this fast in 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. I disagree with the confidence isn't something that you get. It's something that you are, because that's why we do Scrum and Agile. We do small time boxes. The more we do it, the more we try, the more confident we get. The more confident, like how much work can you did, if you do the story points or however you do it, number of issues, your commitment. As you do it more often in smaller increments, you get more confident in telling the customer what you can deliver when you can do it. So I think you build confidence by doing. So maybe I would adapt this to, no, build confidence by doing. Not to say, hey, I don't have any confidence because I don't have it naturally. So it's not there, right? You can get confidence by actually doing and achieving what you want. So I kind of disagree with that fortune cookie. So the more times you do something, more confident you are in giving a commitment or telling something you can do it because you've done it enough times. And again, you should lower the point value every time you get more confident in doing something because you're used to it. So give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Ring the little bell. Oh, and don't forget Sunday, I'm doing that group gathering with the team in Pakistan. Sunday morning East Coast time. I think it's around 9 a.m. Reach out to them if you want to join. And we're going to talk about product owner being a servant leader. So it should be fun. All right. Take care. Have a great day. Enjoy your Friday. Go out there and support the restaurants and everything before they shut them down. Philly's getting scary. And take care. Be healthy. Stay safe. Bye.